Alright, in the last video we looked at the different kinds of mouse events, so now I want to show you an example of changing some component properties through events. So I'm just going to create a button again, just like we did before, and we'll say click, and for this click, let's say, we'll just say change value as the name of the function. And here we'll just say change value. Alright, so we have a button. It's going to look for a function called change value. And then what we'll do is set up here, let's set a, first of all, we'll just do text, and that'll be a string, and we'll set that to hello world. Alright, and then in here, let's say this dot text, and we'll set it to goodbye world. And then we'll output that text right here, and let's do an H1. Okay, save that. So we get hello world, and if I click this, you'll see it gets changed to goodbye world because it runs this function, and this function changes up the initial value of text to goodbye world. Now usually you're not going to be changing up strings when clicking values. A more common use would be to change a boolean. So let's go down here and let's say, we'll just call this value, which will be a boolean, and we're going to set it initially to, let's say, true. And then what we could do is go around this H1 right here that's surrounding the text property, and we'll put a div, and we'll do an ng if, which we've already learned about, so it's just a conditional. We'll say if value, okay, and then we'll put the closing div. Alright, and then save that, and there's going to be no change. It's going to show hello world. Now let's make it so that when we click, it'll say this dot value. It'll take that value property, and it's going to set it to false. So now if we go and I click, now it's going to go away because the value property is no longer true, so it's not going to show this H1 anymore. So that's how we can easily hide stuff. Now you may want this to be kind of a toggle button so you can keep pressing it and showing it and hiding it, and that's not going to work because we're always setting it to false. So an easy way to do this would be to say this dot value equals not this dot value. So it's going to set it to the opposite. So now if we go and we click it, we can keep toggling it back and forth, okay? Because if it's hidden, then it's going to show it. If it's shown, then it's going to hide it. Alright, so it just gives you a simple idea of how we can manipulate our component properties through click events, or any type of event really. So in the next video, we're going to start to look at forms and keyboard events.